We're going to start with a non-alcoholic first before jump right. Well,
starting off with non-alcoholic?
I'm going to start with a non-alcoholic.
Starting off with non-alcoholic?
Because it's harder to go back, once you're
I'm going to have a C or B non-alcoholic.
I'm going to start with an alcoholic, and then if I feel like going non-alcoholic, I'll go non-alcoholic.
Oh, I'm being judged. Okay, fine, John. You successfully peer pressured me.
Yes, let's go.
Right, fine. It's the end of the year, right?
It's
that ASMR.
It's the end of the year.
Although,
to be fair.
Cheers, boys.
Credit where credit's due. Cheers. Ever since our last conversation about non-alcoholic beer, I have been a convert.
I converted you, yeah, bro.
You did.
It's actually fire. Like Japan has really been stepping it up with the non-alcoholic options, and to the point now where, if it's a night where I'm gonna have like 1 or 2 beers, I'll just stay with the non-alcoholics. I'm like, what's the point?
I don't know. I haven't got to the point where I can just drink beer for the taste yet.
I fucking love the taste of beer.
It's not.
I don't like alcohol.
I like the taste of beer, but not enough to justify.
See, it's not just about the taste, because I remember last time when we had this conversation, I made the argument that it just doesn't taste the same, which it doesn't. But for me, it's the feeling of having a pint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You laughed at it. You
said
I was dumb.
do you know what it is?
I'm still saying that.
Do you know what it is? It's not even the taste. It's the foaminess of it. It's the gassiness that you only get with kind of like beer.
Drink some fucking mineral water, bro.
No, because if
I actually do, and I just doesn't hit the same.
If you ever get into beer, right? Like there is this ultimate moment of peak refreshness when you've had a day that you felt like, shit, that took it out of me. You crack that can open and you take that first sip, full foam, full coldness. It's every peak moment of the beer, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but I'm happy to know that like taking that first sip, which I totally get, is the best feeling ever, especially when it's like stupid stinking hot in a Japanese summer, right? Like that first ice cold can of beer is the best. But I also like the fact that, I'm going to get a little bit loopy from it as well.
Well, it's sometimes, I don't know.
If I don't want to get drunk, I'll just crack open a mineral water.
I normally don't get drunk though. I normally maintain like the nice buzz level, which beer helps me do.
What's wrong with that though?
Well, no, that's not drunk though. I wouldn't say it's drunk. It's just me being like a little funny and a little dumb.
Do you not like getting buzzed?
No, I like getting buzzed. Yeah, that's fun. But,
so I'm trying to figure out what's the justification for the non-alcoholic.
Well, because I don't always want to get that.
I think I do it a little bit different from Connor, because for me, sometimes, this goes back to, I guess, when I was working the office job as well. Sometimes you just have a really fucking hard day of work.
Sure.
And you just want to sit back, relax, and crack open a cold one.
I just said that. I literally just said that.
No, because he was saying about the taste, right? For me,
well, it's like that's part of the experience there as well to me, like the taste, but it's mainly about Jesus.
Yeah.
You've had one sip, Joe.
No.
It's mainly about like having the long day and then getting that like first sip, and it's like a very nice feeling. And beer has a texture, which is important in food. It's a very nice texture that kind of just is, I don't know, it's perfect. I don't know.
To expand on what you were saying, before, it's the feeling, and also sometimes you just want to crack open a pint after a hard day of work without needing to get like the consequence of getting drunk or.
But do you feel the consequences after one pint?
Well, no. Okay, so this is a great argument. Because I'm ready. A beer like this beer would be like 250 calories or 200 calories, right?
Okay.
Not that I'm counting calories, right? But I want to be in shape, right? So I'm thinking to myself what I can kind of roughly eat. I don't count calories to the fucking number, but I'm thinking in my head of like the rough toll of what I've been eating.
Sure.
And so if I have like 2 beers, or that's like a full like small lunch or a snack that I could have eaten instead.
They call beers liquid meals for a reason.
Yeah, it's definitely, the carbs are killing, man. It's so many carbs. Especially if you're doing it weekly, right? Because if you have one beer like 4 times a week.
I have a solution then.
That's like 1,000 calories.
I have a solution.
What's up?
Don't drink beer.
But I don't get the same refreshment and enjoyment from like a...
Mate, you got to sacrifice one or the other.
Well, that's why.
We're sacrificing the alcohol.
Yeah, we're sacrificing
Which is the worst thing you could be sacrificing.
Wait, it's the...
What the fuck? That's
Joey,
the best. That is literally the best thing.
Scientifically the best thing you could be sacrificing.
You don't sacrifice the fucking caffeine in a coffee, do you?
I wouldn't mind doing that.
Oh my God, he's too far gone, bro.
Oh, you're getting into decaf now?
No.
He's too far gone, bro.
The reason why
We've lost him.
The reason why I'm never going to get into decaf, and this is a very piss poor reason, but I think it's valid.
Yeah.
I've got a coffee machine, and it takes a bunch of beans. If I would have to like take out all the beans and replace them every time I want decaf.
Yeah, I can't hear you say beans without hearing you say it.
Beans. What the fuck? I don't want to fucking have to change the entire fucking machine to drink decaf. But
Well, that's what you get for having a fuck off large machine.
yeah, but it's a beautiful machine. It's the centerpiece of my house. You have what, a fucking Lego piece on your wall? I've got a beautiful Italian engineered espresso machine. All the engineering points of Italy went into coffee. They can't make anything else in Italy. Literally, they don't have anything else. But they have
Pasta is crying right now.
as in like engineering wise, right? Germany, they did it everything. Italy was like, well, espresso machines, anyone?
God, I can't even build a fucking tower correctly, man.
No, they can't. It's leaning.
It's just like, what the fuck, man?
You ever seen a completed Italian roadworks? Doesn't exist.
sure.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
how's your fucking cities going? Oh, they're sinking? Oh, okay. That's, good to know.
Italy has like every single economic crisis possible right now. But my God, they still make a mean espresso machine.
And that food fucking slaps.
Yeah.
And their food
The
slaps.
food is amazing.
Sure.
Point being,
So yeah, they kind of spec their points to
Didn't
the
mean to click a
correct
Lego there, sorry.
categories.
No, it's fine.
Honestly.
I'm sure it looks lovely.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to insult the machine. It's all right.
I took that personally.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, but because of the non-alcoholic beer, I was like, I saw there was a store selling non-alcoholic wine as well. And as you know, I'm a big
I think that's called
wine
grape juice.
And I was like, I know this is going to be grape juice, but maybe because I've realized non-alcoholic beer is basically just hop flavored sparkling water. Right?
Yeah.
So maybe they've just made kind of like, because wine is grape juice, obviously, but it doesn't always taste like grape juice, you know?
Sure,
It tastes like
There's
wine.
loads of aspects to wine.
Yeah. So
Not just the alcohol.
maybe they made water taste like beer without having the alcohol in it. Maybe they've done the same with wine. I just bought fucking grape juice, but they marked it up to like $15
You just
a
bought
bottle.
expensive grape
I
juice,
just
bro.
bought really fucking expensive grape juice. I've never been more disappointed in my life.
This is what's wrong with society.
I got invited out to this extremely fancy restaurant, and it was an Italian restaurant, and I was like, I love Italian food, but this was like giga bougie fusion. And when I hear fusion food in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're just gonna fuck it up, because pasta, pasta's just pasta. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like fusion's coming back.
I think some fusion works, but Italian is one of those things where I'm like, I actually don't fusion it. They actually figured it out. Please stop messing with it.
It's because the word fusion was just ruined by all of these restaurants that just use the word fusion just to say that they want.
different,
Yeah, that's just say
We
like,
serve
it's different.
every kind of
Yeah.
Southeast Asian
Well, like,
cuisine.
I went to this Thai-Japanese fusion, and I thought that was great because that was literally just adding spices to Japanese food. Because in Japan, it's just
great. It's perfect.
all just salt.
what I need.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But they added like spiciness to it. I was like, wait, this is like, you guys should do this. Like, this is great. But I went to this Thai one; it was very good. But the reason I bring this up is because they had a non-alcoholic wine pairing menu, and I didn't want to drink that day, so I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it. And to be fair, to their credit, I don't even want to know how much it would cost. I didn't pay.
That's why you did it.
There was no prices on the menu, which meant everything. I didn't even want to know. Everything came out and it was this big, which I think goes against the entire point of Italian food. I'm supposed to feel morbidly obese after going to an Italian.
That's the
restaurant.
American side of you, bro.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just think Italian food you should feel very full. Like it's a very.
Well, you do
filling-
because a lot of it is very carby.
That's
right.
the fusion part of it.
That's the
And
fusion.
then the
part.
fusion, they fusioned all the food away. So, because each pasta was like this, and the guy brought it out, and I said, "Where's the rest of it?" The guy couldn't speak English, and he goes, "What?" And I said, nothing. Anyway, they brought out this non-alcoholic.
fusioned it with nothing.
Every single dish came with a non-alcoholic wine pairing thing.
Okay.
And they were like, it was like jasmine. One of them was like jasmine flower petals with something. It was, and it was kind of okay. I felt like it was good enough that for a meal, I would be like, yeah, that's close enough. But it was missing the core feeling of wine.
Yeah.
Whereas I think non-alcoholic beer has kind of gotten the core feeling of beer.
So,
Yeah.
question: would you, if you were paying for that restaurant experience, would you have gotten that non-alcoholic wine?
Oh,
Did you do it because you seized the opportunity of getting it, trying it out like free of charge?
It was just super fancy juice that was slightly viscous. And
Yeah.
which is fine because
Yeah,
I
sounds
think that
alright.
like that's also like an option. I think that I think any time you can present an option that doesn't have alcohol, we should be encouraging that because obviously the less alcohol we all drink, the better. So if you can get it, like if wine tasted the exact same but with no alcohol, bro, I'm all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you can't say that in front of a fucking sea of alcohol.
But that's
Look,
the thing.
look.
Maybe in 60 years, Connor Jr. will be able to enjoy all the flavors of non-alcoholic beer without needing to drink alcohol.
Look. Okay.
I'm not calling him Connor Jr.
Here's
by
the
the way.
thing.
Just for the record.
Here's the problem. Okay, I like getting drunk.
Sure.
I don't like the consequence of getting drunk.
Yeah.
That's something that you did not have to deal with in your 20s.
Right.
And then you grow up and then you realize, wait, there are consequences for the stupid actions that I take.
And it's unfortunate that Japan is a very, very alcoholic country.
Yeah, we love to drink.
Well,
here.
so is England and so is Australia. And
I thought England and the UK was bad in general. And I felt that in the UK it was more so I would drink on weekends and I would drink hard on the weekends.
Yeah.
But in Japan, what I found is that you drink hard, but it'll be a Tuesday and then a Thursday and then a Friday and a Saturday. And you're like, okay, hold up now. I'm doubling what I was doing before.
Yeah. Reality really doesn't slap you in the face here until you witness a Shibuya meltdown with your own eyes. You know?
There is just so much more casual alcohol consumption here and to more of an extent than
That's because
in
it's
the
so
UK.
much cheaper as well.
Yeah.
Like it's so
and
cheap to
people
like go
eat out way more here as well.
yeah.
So it's
Totally.
like if you're in England, if you go out, if you just casually go to a pub, then you're probably an alcoholic, you know. But
Or a Brexit geezer.
or a Brexit geezer. Like if you just casually go to the pub on most weekdays, you're probably an alcoholic. How we like coped with that was we just drink on the weekends. Guys, we're not alcoholic. We just drink on the weekends,
We have rest
right?
days.
That's how we cope
I
with it,
also
right?
think that as a human being, you are entitled to self-destruction.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anyone else.
Yeah.
If you want to drink on the weekends and that's your thing, fucking
Yeah.
do it.
And
Just
then-
if it's affecting other people, then you got to fucking address it.
Yeah.
And then like that was before I started workforce, and then when I entered the workforce, it slowly started to creep in to be like, today was a hard day of work, and some of my coworkers
That's the
like,
danger, right?
that's
Yeah.
like the dangerous. That's where like the line, like
Yeah.
between my first example and my second example, that's how you tiptoe the line. So I kind of realized the sad realization that stuff like this helps us fucking tiptoe that line, right?
Yeah, no, it is nice. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. And
I have a feeling though that you guys have kind of reached this point probably because both of you drink more often than I do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Most
Because I don't drink
definitely.
at home. I don't think I've drank in like over a week at least for me. And like I only maybe drink like 2 or 3 times a month. So I feel like the more you drink, the more I might start to feel like
this month particularly is generally a bad one. This month is.
Oh, don't worry. Next week I'm in Australia.
fuck.
I'm not going to have a sober day.
Well, yeah, it's like when my brother was here. You know, it's his vacation, right? So
Yeah.
when I'm out with him, he wants to drink, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll drink with my brother. I don't get to see you that much.
Yeah.
The problem is that when you think about times like that, you're like, okay, my brother is here. He's here for like 1 week every fucking 3 years or something. Let's say it's like I'm going to commit to that. But the context is that okay, maybe the week before that I also just happened to drink a lot. And then now I'm drinking all week. And then maybe I drink a little bit next week too. So it ends up being like, it doesn't matter what the circumstances. The facts are is that maybe I just drank a bunch this day. And then I'm just trying to battle that. This is
This
It's
is
an uphill battle.
slowly starting to sound like alcohol, like anonymous or something
yeah,
like
it
that.
is right. But this is what happens when I realized I was like the consequences of having a social life in Japan.
Yeah.
Because Japan's social life equals drink. But I mean, I lately I've just been saying like, if I know it's going to be like, because some people just invite you out for a casual dinner and I'm like, chill, fuck yeah. And they'll drink and I'm like, actually, no, I'm just going to fucking drink tea. Fuck this. To me, I'm like, if I'm not going to have like 4 beers, I'm like, I don't fucking.
But we also like, I feel like Japanese culture as well is an interesting one because even though we drink so much, like casually, regardless of the day of the week, we're also more forgiving to those who don't want to drink or can't drink. Just because I feel there's a lot more people who just cannot drink. Right, so like
it's very odd because it depends on the person though as well. 'Cause I've definitely met Japanese people that are like, you don't want to drink? What?
yeah, to them I'd be like, fuck off, it's my choice. Stop judging me.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, like if you couldn't drink, like you were, in some ways judged, and I'm sure it's the same in the UK as well, right? Because like drinking culture is such a normal culture over there.
Yeah.
That when you see someone who can't drink or doesn't want to drink, then it's kind of like,
Yeah.
why?
Muslims must have been watching this first half of the show being like, what are they talking about? what are they talking about?
That sounds like some funny juice that they're drinking right now.
That's the devil's
Yeah, because
juice.
like I every time it always kind of like makes me realize whenever I talk to an American, and so many Americans I know, so it depends on obviously which state you're from, but so many Americans I know don't know the difference. I've had to explain the difference between going out and going out. If you guys get what I mean.
Like going out, like the first one just being like, oh, we're just gonna go maybe have a couple of
just like a
drinks,
casual drink
casual
or so.
time, not drunk, and then there's going out.
Yeah. So sometimes to explain, sometimes you go out with your mates to the pub or something, and you just have some casual drinks, and on some special occasions, maybe the vibe is just right. You start getting to that zone where you're like, should we go out? Are we gonna go out?
This is a UK specific problem because often like if you have to like kind of pre-game, normally that means like, okay, well there's this pivotal decision moment, where people are going to decide let's keep going or let's go. But in Japan, I feel like those lines are so blurred. Because you're always out in Japan. Yeah. Sure. So you're always close to the next place or the next bar.
Do you know one thing that I like about Japan culture? What? They don't really have a shot culture here.
Oh, thank fuck for that. If you drink with Pete finds the places with the shot culture.
Okay, well, he's American, though.
Yeah, I know, but he just said, he's too charismatic. He gets the bar owners involved, and then they're like, oh, you should drink more.
You need to go to those, like, specific establishments, though, right?
But you know what sucks is that when I tell people, they're like, how did you learn most of Japanese? I'm like, fuck, I hate to admit it, but like just going out and drinking was most of it for me.
Honestly, that is the best way.
Going to these bars and talking to bar owners, and they're so welcoming, especially if you're a foreigner who speaks some Japanese. They can kind of see that normally that huge barrier is kind of gone. There's normally this kind of curiosity that kind of opens up where you can really just have a really good conversation because they want to talk to you and you want to talk to them because you're at their bar and you want to get to know the places. Because I think everyone has that, like, especially if you're going to a place somewhat often, you always want to be like, does that guy remember me? You're like, I want to be like this guy. He's like, yeah, it's this guy again, Because you want to. It's like almost like a sense of community, right? Because in Japan, you don't get that in a lot of places. If I went to the same,
you're the local gaijin at this bar.
But like, if I went to the same like grocery store for like 2 years in a row in the UK, right? There's a solid chance, at least in Wales, if it's a smaller one. If it's a supermarket, probably not. But if it's like a smaller one, right? Odds are the staff will probably remember you, or they'll probably say, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" You have that little bit of conversation that just kind of like. That you don't realize how much it kind of like gives you a bit of like, oh man, that's nice. And the only place you can really get this in Japan is bars. Because like konbini, they ain't gonna fuck it. You can go to the konbini 5 million times and they're never gonna say anything to you. It's not gonna happen. Same with any store.
No, I've been recognized by a number of konbini.
Well, okay, but is that no.
I got a girl.
You got a girl?
I got a hook up.
But like generally, right? Like, that's an anomaly, right? Like, that's like not normal, right? So in Japan, like if you want to get like that kind of friendly sense of like almost like a missing sense of community.
Well, I think it also doesn't help that like we are in like the biggest city in the fucking world.
But other cities on earth don't do this, I noticed. London was different. Like London, I know if I went to the same place over and over again, I would kind of get that familial connection. But
that's because they have more of that stranger friendliness, right?
Yeah,
like in Tokyo, that stranger friendliness is close to zero, especially between a Japanese person and a gaijin.
Like, Tokyo is such a lonely place, and it has this reputation, rightfully so, for being one of the loneliest cities, despite being a fucking giant city, because there's like zero sense of community.
Yeah, like walking into like any kind of store in Tokyo is like just the same interaction over and over. It's like entering the item shop in an RPG. Like you're gonna get the same dialogue every single time, even if you've been in there 100 times.
Yeah. But I like that in Japan you can still get that, but it's mainly at bars.
Only at bars,
and it's kind of nice because I got a bunch of bars that I go to where they're always like, "Oh, how you doing, man? You doing well?"
Well, I feel like it's kind of their job to be social, right? Or at least more social.
Well,
because I think they realize that that's also a good business move, right? To get repeaters coming back, right? Or at least if you were a good.
I mean, it makes a lot of places that I've noticed they are just genuinely nice, and just genuinely enjoy the company, and enjoy the conversation, and they are genuinely curious. Also, I would like to say earlier when I say I got a girl, I was fucking being sarcastic. It's like an old elderly Japanese woman.
So you got a girl?
I got a girl.
You got a girl, bro.
Hey, she's still a girl. Is she not?
I was like, she works like, okay, so there's this old elderly Japanese woman and she normally works the late shift. So I normally hit the konbini after like a trash taste recording or something. And there was this one time where I went in, it was really late after a night out. And there was this foreigner there and she was trying to explain something. She was trying to explain how to use like the card system and stuff like that. And he just wasn't fucking getting it.
Allow me to introduce
myself. She was like, sumimasen. And she was like, can you explain to this person what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, I got this. So I translated what she was saying to him to explain how to use the machine he was trying to use. And then ever since then, she's just been like extra like friendly and happy every time we come in. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go.
That's
now.
what's up.
I gotta go now.
So next time you go in, you'll be like, hey, yo, can I have some of that free chicken?
Yeah.
Dog?
So you got any
That's
free
gonna
chicken?
go to waste if you don't give it to me.
Yeah.
My local konbini, they look miserable. I don't blame them.
Oh, they do?
It is a rough konbini. It does not look good.
At our old place up north, like there was the konbini worker near our house, like late at night, who just used to give me free chicken every time I walked in. He was just like, "We got some. We're gonna throw it out. Do you want it?" I'm like, "Sure."
Hey, are you the anime man? Do you want a free chicken?
He recognized you, right?
Yeah, he recognized me, and then he was like, "Oh, you want some free chicken?" I'm like, "Okay."
God, I wish it was that easy, Joey.
I know. What can I say?
I wish I could be that famous to be recognized.
I wish it was Lawson's. Then I'd be interested in the free chicken.
Yeah, Family Mart chicken, get that shit out of here.